so you can hook that loop over the baling pin. And I want it to hang down. So that's the general idea of the loop. Go over the baling pin and just hang there. And we'll cut these tails off. So I've been experimenting with different ways to make them. And after about the 5th time, I couldn't remember from before how I was doing it. After try again, the main thing is to get that loop tied first, and that's just a simple granny knot with the line back on itself, and then when you pull it tight, you're pulling it up to make the loop small. Not too small, but small enough to hang over the baling pin and then hang over the edge of the rack. So something like that is just right. And I'm going to let that hang off to the side while I create the coil. And in order to create the coil, minus this tail here, which I could probably cut that off now, but if my loop comes apart, I'm going to have a problem. Now, if you guys can see that or not. Get that loop on the end where my little jig nail is, and just pull it snug. A dab here in the middle. And separate that tail. They're not tight. You want to sort of do this loosely. The camera is right in the way for me to swing around with my left hand. I want to do like 6 or 7 wraps. Create a nice fat bundle. And I'm going to trap it with this little clamp. Got a fairly long tail for tying a knot here around the middle of the bundle. So just get that under the middle. It's sort of a clove, half clove hitch knot. And then before that sticks to the little jig nail there, pull it off. And we can cut the tails after it dries. So that's gonna act as the excess rope for the running rigging on here, and I got to make up 7, 8 times 2, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22. I need to make at least 25 or 30 of them, and then a couple with the black thread. I finished up the last of the other standing rigging this morning to fill up the last of the baling pins, so they're all full. There is one or two spares, but that's what came with the kit. And the areas that they're showing the directions are done. So now we're doing little things that aren't in the directions, like these little loops of rope. Will make it look more realistic when we get those on there. Get them to lay in the right place. Yeah, we got them on this ship too. This Royal Sun. It's really hard to see though. You know, where that guy in the white t-shirt is, in front of him is a bunch of them loops hanging on the baling pin rack. That gives it a more realistic look. We did that on this one. There's a bunch in there in the middle and all the other racks. I didn't do it on the Bounty. The ropes are just tied off. You can see there's no loops of rope on there. So I got a bunch of those to make up, and then looked up in my leftover scrap this morning, and there's not enough plexiglass to build the case for this. Now I got to build one for that too, so I'm gonna have to go get another big sheet, 4x8 sheet of black sand or plexiglass. And I'm planning on doing a hardwood frame this time instead of this corner round frame. The corner round frame makes it a little time consuming because I got a piece on the inside and then a outside corner piece on the outside, and I got the glass screwed to the one on the inside to give it some strength, but I just don't like the it's a little chintzy, I guess you could say. It could be a little better. Yeah, it's just a matter of getting some inch and 3/4, inch and a half square stock oak and routering or saw table some grooves in it for the glass, miter the corners. to make it a little more solid. Oh, there's a possum up underneath my wife's she shed. So Mr. Tomasi is working it hard. Round and round all day long. He knows it's hiding into there somewhere. So yeah, we got a lot of rain lately. I just mowed the grass yesterday. Did harvest a bunch of sweet taters out of that one, a bunch of onions out of the front one. Getting tomatoes. That Tomasi has already dispatched a little baby possum. A young one. Are you laying another egg? What's under there? Uh-huh. Thank you. I already got one this morning. Now, this dog here is broody. And there ain't nothing under there. She was sitting on an egg this morning that I've already picked up and jumped off the nest and went and got treats. I gave him some treats. And now she's back in there. She'll sleep in there at night too, instead of up on the roof. So 2 eggs so far today, 2 yesterday, 3 the day before that. See, the garden is growing like good. Springtime. Got more potatoes over there. Sweet potatoes and regular potatoes. And then there's some blackberries and raspberries. There was a bunch of raspberries. Somebody done ate them. It wasn't me. No, they weren't ripe yet. These are probably just ready. Now that's weird. That's what it is. You tell me that I thought these were all raspberries. Maybe it's both, or does the raspberry turn black to a blackberry? What's going on there? They were all red the other day. I thought it was all raspberries. Now they're black. Interesting. It's probably hard to see this with, I took that paper out that was behind there, that cardboard, because this thing back here is so busy you can't really see what's going on with this new build. Well, we can't call it new anymore. It's almost done, so it's an old build once we put it in the case. Alright, let's see if we can film this without bumping the camera too many times. I get it up a little higher so I don't have to try to hold my point of view too low. Just want a little dinky loop. Then I'm going to take this tail and secure it here on the jig. It doesn't matter if this loop scoots around too much, but it's easier to wrap it if you keep it up there on the end. Okay. So my loop is there and I got this secured so it can't come apart. And all I gotta do is roll around it a bunch of times and then scoot the end underneath, do a half clove hitch and then tie it to this other tail so it won't ever come apart. So what I've been doing is keeping a little tension on the line and grab this about ½ inch away. Try that again here. After you get on there 2 or 3 times, you got to remember to keep tension on the line so you don't let it unravel off of here. I've been going like 7, 8, 9, 10 times, however many you think makes it look good. One more. And I put a clamp on there so it can't come apart while I make this last little tie here. So I want to just scoot this underneath the whole pile and let go of it. Pull it out and do a half clove hitch. And then tie it off to this other tail. And even without glue, that should be good as far as never coming apart. Take that off. Cut the tails off. Voila. So that was my last one that I need. Maybe not. I might have one more on each side. Either way, this is how you do it. And then let me adjust this camera. These are going to be the soft cotton ones. I got 2 of them there for those 2. This would be a little harder one back in here. And I was having to use another pair of tweezers. Get that to hang over the pin. We got 3 here and 3 there. So you piddle with it too much, I might have to put some glue on there. That went all the way to the floor. I gotta go look for it. Try to get them to where they'll hang straight down like gravity. I keep piddling with it, I'm gonna mess it up. So you get the idea. These are the slack end of the rope. Yeah, it looks pretty natural, eh? Thanks for watching.